Welcome to the enchanting universe of Fables. In today's video, we're diving into this captivating series to uncover the most iconic characters like Snow White, Pinocchio, Cinderella, the Big Bad Wolf, and others. But which is the best reinterpretation of a classic character? Let's look at the 10 best characters from Fables. No matter how old you get, fairy tales never get old. Bill Willingham proved that with the classic Vertigo comic book Fables, a run that deserves a streaming show if there ever was one. Incorporating pretty much all of the characters and concepts of classic fairy tales, along with some more recent ones in the public domain, Fables reimagines them in the context of the real world. There are many interesting characters in the series, and in this list we selected the 10 best. So before we begin, if you like comics, comment below which comic series you would like to recommend and which is your favorite character. So without further ado, let's begin our list. Number 10. The Adversary. Every great story has a great villain. Fables goes for the gold by imagining an all-encompassing villain for the Fables exile to the world of the Mundies, or the Mundates. The Adversary is a giant, terrifying baddie whose armies force Fables out of their lands. And then we find out, in true fairy tale fashion, that he's not what he seems. The Adversary is a puppet, engineered by the master puppeteer Geppetto. Number 9. Rodney and June. An early clue to the true identity of the Adversary are two of his wooden spies, Rodney and June. Sent to spy on the exiled Fables, they become much more complicated than simple villains. They're in love with each other, want to marry, and like most puppets and stories, want to be real. Their desires cause wrinkles for them and their mission. Rodney and June don't particularly want to do bad things, but they continue their mission, even after they're transformed into real people. That was part of the deal. Number 8. Buffkin. Thanks to the fact that characters from L. Frank Baum's The Wizard of Oz are in the public domain, pretty much the entire cast from the series shows up in Fables. The best transition comes in the form of Buffkin. One of the Wicked Witch's evil winged monkeys, Buffkin is the Fables librarian. Despite all the books, he's not the smartest guy, but he's got a good heart and a taste for alcohol. Once, he just decided to rename Fabletown to Buffkin Town and declared himself ruler. Number 7. Goldilocks. One of the absolute early delights of Fables was the revelation that Goldilocks, that sweet little girl who just couldn't help herself when it came to porridge, was a leftist guerrilla fighter. She leads a revolution on the farm, but her real ambition is simply power. Her heel turn as a manifesto writing, philosophy espousing, and bear loving in more ways than one, freedom fighter was a great indicator that none of these characters were in proverbial Kansas anymore. Number 6. Pinocchio. Like his father, Pinocchio's story is turned on its head in Fables. An enduring story, putting Pinocchio, Geppetto, and their wooden extended family at the heart of a world of political intrigue makes a lot of sense. For Pinocchio himself, his dream comes true. The blue fairy makes him a real boy, but it comes with a catch though, as he remains a boy eternally. He doesn't grow up. This puts a real crimp in his plans as far as enjoying everything life has to offer. Still, he drinks a lot and gets into trouble. Number 5. Rose Red. Making Rose Red the red-headed stepchild of the Fables universe was a masterstroke on Bill Willingham's part. Like Goldilocks, Rose's story is turned inside out, but Rose is a much more interesting character in the long run. Reckless, irresponsible, and a rock in her sister Snow White's shoe, Rose sleeps around, drinks, and generally raises hell. Her journey from hellion to responsible administrator of the farm and guardians of the Fables is one of the great arcs in the entire story. Number 4. Snow White. While Rose Red parties her way through a lot of her early life, Snow White has to be the responsible one. She married Prince Charming, and even after her sister slept with him, Snow White maintained her sense of nobility and helped lead her people to the safety of Fabletown. She served as its mayor and tried to keep order and a lid on the secret society of fairy tale characters living among humans. Snow White is one of the more complicated characters in the story, not quite like her classic image, but a practical, realistic woman with the weight of the world on her shoulders. Number 3. Bigby the Wolf. Whenever the eventual film or television adaptation of Fables arrives, one of the most intense speculations by fans is sure to be who will play Bigby the Wolf. The wolf from Little Red Riding Hood is reimagined as a gruff sheriff with more than just a little Wolverine in him. Bigby surprises everyone with his humanity and his relationship with Snow White, which eventually leads to marriage and a litter of cubs. 7. A son of the North Wind, Bigby has the power to huff and puff and blow your house down, but mostly, he just wants to keep his house in order. Number 2. Cinderella. Another inspired translation from the fairy tales is Cinderella. In the comic book, she's no longer a girl looking for her prince, who's out looking for someone else anyway. She's a little bit of a loudmouth and kind of forgotten in her bauble shop, but the truth is she's a spy and secret agent. Cindy, as she's known in Fabletown, would put 007 to shame. Immortal, practical, and ruthless, Cinderella does everything and anything to protect her people, including battling with her arch-nemesis, the mercenary Dorothy Gale. And at number 1, Three Blind Mice. Are there any better characters in Fables than the Three Blind Mice? Though not central to the action like Bigby, Snow, and Pinocchio are, they don't really know that, and that's what makes them so great. Blind, tailless, and a little confused, they imagine themselves to be great warriors. In reality, they're just three guys who like to hang out and talk about whatever. If Fables had started today, they'd probably have a podcast, or maybe a YouTube channel. Probably both. Did you enjoy our list of the best Fables characters? If so, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Leave your comment below and suggest the next topic you'd like to see. We're looking forward to hearing your ideas. Until next time, and stay geek.